Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome back to Glowing Success. So today I'm going to be talking about being in a trust recession. So I don't know if you've heard this online or not, but we are in a time where your clients are not probably going to trust as easily. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like, nobody trusts the government, which rightfully so. Nobody trusts financial institutions. A lot of financial institutions, have proven that they can't be trusted. There's a lot of other things in people's lives that are just not to be trusted, right? So I get it. I get why people are like, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust businesses. I don't trust services. I don't trust anything. And then on top of that, we have all sorts of information on the internet proving things that are just wrong, right? So I don't know if you've seen, like for me, I do lashes. There's a lot of incorrect information about lash extensions or even lash lift and tint online. There's a lot of information out there. So your client is picking things up. They're, having their life. They're going throughout their life, and they're finding that they're probably not trusting things as easily. And we all are, right? So we're all guilty of this, not just your clients specifically. So basically, because there's this trust recession going on, us as people in the beauty industry, or even specifically speaking to business owners, or even specifically speaking to people who are trying to build their books, you need to really get that trust from the beginning, right? So that's important. So one of the reasons I preach about in-person marketing or in collaborative type marketing is because it builds trust faster. So for me, I have found over the years, if I can do collaborative efforts, so for instance, that is, pairing up with another service provider and maybe doing deals or videos, or pairing up with businesses that are really close to your spa or salon and doing promotions, or having a table at their event, or, doing social media videos, what have you. But that collaboration is where it's at, because once one person trusts this person, so therefore they might trust another person that person interacts with, right? And we've had this in our personal lives, right? So like, you've maybe talked to somebody about a restaurant that your friend or somebody has gone to, like, oh, did you really like it there? How was the food? How was the service? Like, oh, you had a good time? Okay, well, I'm going to go. Because boom, that trust was instantly kind of instilled upon them because another person had the good experience. So that is one way to kind of counterbalance, or, maybe be more proactive when it comes to getting clients that are kind of in this like non-trust kind of factor. So obviously that third-party validation helps a lot. The other thing that I've noticed is, and I've probably talked about this in many other episodes, so you probably have heard this, but you need to show yourself on social media. So there is many accounts out there that I've seen that I don't even know who does the services. All they do is show before and afters. All they do is show their services. All they do is show products. All they do is show fancy little photos of their room. All they do is, there's so many beautiful photos and videos, don't get me wrong, but who is actually doing my service? Like, who are they? So doing more videos with your face in it, doing more videos, you talking, it builds that trust a little faster online. So if a person is coming to you from a cold market standpoint, so a person that doesn't know you, doesn't know anybody that does know you, and maybe they're finding your information online, maybe you came up on their page from algorithm, maybe if it's on TikTok, maybe it's on their For You page for whatever reason. However they found you, it's a technically called your cold market. But anyway, so that's one way that you could possibly build that trust factor a little faster, is showing up online, showing your face, showing your personality, talking about yourself. Like, those are all things that person's going to be like, oh, okay, well, I know their vibe. I know who they are now. Like, I'm probably going to book with them because I feel a little bit more, comfortable. I feel like I know them, and I feel like I'm making a good choice. So, anything you can do to kind of build that trust faster is going to help you in the long run, right? So, it's going to help you get those clients that are maybe on the edge. It's going to help you get those clients that are in your cold market or even your warm market. So, the collaborative efforts, technically, those clients could be considered your warm market because they know somebody that knows somebody that you know. So, think about that when you're talking about marketing nowadays and when you're making your marketing plan, and think about how can I instill trust in somebody to book with me? Because if you've ever gone to somebody, let's say you've gone to get a new service done, it can be a little scary, especially let's say you've had your hair done by the same person for a long time, and then all of a sudden that person either retires or moves away, and now you're stuck with finding a whole nother person. You are like freaked out because you're like, oh my gosh, now I gotta find somebody else that I trust, right? Instantly, that is what people say. Well, I don't know. I don't trust anybody with my hair. I don't know. I don't trust anybody with my face. I don't know. I don't trust anybody with this and that and the other. So if you think about marketing in that way of like, how can I build that trust faster? And then on top of that, obviously you are speaking to your ideal client. So I've talked about this in other episodes too, of how you need to niche down or specifically talk to an ideal client. So come up in your head with who your ideal client is, and then figure out like the things they like to do, the things they like to interact with in their lives, and then you can kind of come up with more of a precise marketing plan that way. And then one step further is, how can I instill this trust in this client as fast as possible? How can I, tell them about what I do? How can I make them feel comfortable? How can I, break down those barriers, so to speak? So we need to think about these things, because not only is it just part of our job as service providers, like I always tell people, you have one appointment to impress your client. So that first appointment they come in, that is the appointment where you need to blow their socks off. You need to, really wow them to the point where they're like, oh my God, I want to come back. Oh my gosh, I want to send other people to them. Wow, I'm so excited about my results. Like, I really liked that person's vibe. I really liked the conversation. I really liked the atmosphere. I really liked everything about my appointment. So we have one shot, right? So essentially, you kind of think of marketing that way too, right? So marketing is very similar in the aspect of, so let's say you are doing social media marketing, and there's many types of marketing, and so this is just one of them, right? So social media marketing, if you think about how fast you scroll online. So if I like to sit on TikTok and Instagram, those are the two that I find myself the most often on. Facebook too, but Facebook I scroll differently and I look for different content on there. So anyway, think about how you scroll, actually. This is really good. So on Instagram, I'm going pretty quick, right? It's showing me things pretty quickly. And you have to also think about the algorithm is only showing you so much. I think there was numbers that came out the other day that they're showing you like less than 20% of the actual like people you follow and probably the content that you could be viewing. So if you think about it in that way too, of like, you only have a little bit of opportunity to show, that person, hey, look at me, pause, stop, click, that kind of thing. And so you have to think about your marketing in that way too, of like, hey, how can I grab their attention, build that trust, and specifically talk to my ideal client? And a lot of times it's about like, saying who you are and building that story, right? So really building your brand and really talking to that person really specifically. But a lot of times there's just some things that I've noticed in the industry that we tend to not be very good with when it comes to building trust. And that was what I said earlier about you showing your face more online. Show who you are. Why did you start your business? Why do you like the services you offer? What are you really good at? Like, what kind of experience can they expect when they come in? And so forth. And then the other thing is just not doing enough collaboration efforts. And so, we're not talking to our community enough. So I always tell people, one of the first things I tell people when they're working with me about marketing is saying, have you introduced yourself to all the businesses that are around you? And if you haven't done that, that's the first step. Go do that. Introduce yourself. So it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to feel like sales. It doesn't have to feel like you're, doing something that you shouldn't be doing. You can just simply say, hey, I'm a new business in the neighborhood. My name is this. This is what I do. Would you like it if I dropped you off a brochure or anything like that? I'm just looking to connect with other businesses in the area because I'm new here. It could be simple as that. So, but the more connections you make in the area, the better off you're going to be with probably grabbing some clients from those places, because people like to do things in the areas that they already do things, right? So if a person already comes to the Target in your area, or if they already come to a different business that's kind of down the road from you, chances are, if they've heard about you from that area or that business or that person or those people that work there, they might end up choosing you over a different place that they've been possibly looking at that might be farther away and be less convenient. So that's number one, but there's so many other reasons that collaboration is really huge. I think also collaboration in our own industry is very important. It builds the strength of our industry. Clients see that we interact with each other and they see that trust factor as well. They also see that, hey, this person goes to this person, and so they trust that relationship. They also see us as like human beings at that point too. Like, we get our own services done. I get my hair done. I get a chiropractor. I go to, I get services too. So that's another way to build trust, right? So when you're thinking of your marketing plan, the one thing I can say to you is really think about, how can we build that trust faster? How can I invite that client in? How can I make that client feel comfortable with booking with me? And hopefully you will have amazing breakthroughs, right? You will be like, I know exactly what I need to do. But maybe listen back to the episode and see, have I showed myself on social media? Have I introduced myself to the local businesses around me? What am I doing to elicit that trust a little faster? So hopefully that helps, and thank you for listening. I hope you liked that episode and found something useful or a tip that you can use immediately. If you are wanting more marketing tips, business tips, or anything like that, I have a lot of resources on my website. So I have PDFs that you can download for free. So look in your show notes. There should be a link in the show notes that you can click on, and it'll take you right to my coaching website. And thanks for listening.